So where we left off in Black Mesa is actually a very important part. It's only after you have encountered Marines for around an hour or two of gameplay, which is kind of cool because there's that shift in gameplay, of course. But more importantly is that they start shifting the gameplay even more with the types of aliens that are showing up. Because at this point, you've kind of seen the same types of enemies like over and over again. You don't really need like too much variety, right? So where we're spotting back up is right after like the first little train cart ride and into the first like evaluation of the tunnels, which is a nice fun time. So as we're walking through here, we've got our new Magnum. I need to adjust my DPI real quick. 1, 2, 3. I think that'll be right for this game. And we can see that we come upon these Marines and they are shooting at something that isn't us. What could they be firing at? We haven't seen them do a lot of fighting like that. Oh! And as we come through, we see exactly what they were fighting. Well, they're heavy-duty Marines. Maybe they can handle that, right? So we watch them fight, and they throw some grenades, and they all get burned to a crisp. And we decide as Gordon Freeman that we don't want none of that. Now, if I were playing this the way I normally play it, yeah, notice how he posted up there. Oh my gosh, that's new. I don't remember that happening, ever. If I were playing this the way we normally play it, since I know Half-Life, what I would do is, as he's killing Marines, I would be running straight through to where I need to go. But if you're playing this for the first time, or you're trying to do like more roleplay gaming, which I like me some roleplay, you'd be like, oh, what the hell? What do I do now? Kind of deal, right? And you'd kind of get stuck here, and then you'd have to force your way past him, or find a way around. Which I don't believe from this part of the tunnel that there is a way around. What I cut before was just to burn it home. Tomorrow has to get more because our trailer's almost empty. Hey, you do what you gotta do. That's good work. Alright, so now that he's clear out... Oh! We're getting burned! We're gonna run for it. And run for the nearest sign of safety. And it looks like he's following us, so we're gonna have to fight for our lives here. Uh-oh. Explosions! There are too many explosions right now. But at least the enemies are dead. Hallway clear. MP5, save me. I can hear the little ghost noises like I used to hear in Quake. With the Shrags going around. I'll put a few rounds in his back, that'll do it. Oh! So the fire carries force too because he launched some boxes and stuff at us earlier. But that barrel is unaffected, so it makes me wonder if that's temporary. Or if it's just not hitting that thing at the right angle for the physics. Or if maybe those items were semi-scripted to go off like that and actually push towards us. Who knows? You put a custom Dragon Ball ringtone on your phone the other day after finding out how to on your iPhone. That's awesome. I have had the same iPhone ringtones for my text message, my text message. Huh, if I recall correctly in the... Oh, there it is! I was gonna say, if I remember correctly, in the original game, this whole, like, platform broke when you tried to walk on it. Why isn't it happening now? And it was totally ready to happen now. So, not bad. But yeah, I've had the same 3 ringtones for my text messages, my voicemails, and my calls on my iPhone for about 7 years now. Care to guess what game they're from? They're all 3 from the same game. And I'll give you 3 guesses. I remember this, yeah. Jesus. We come in here and find the dying dude, but this is one of those moments where I remember more about this guy and this encounter from this game than I do from the original game. What type of game? You just gotta guess, Wester. It is one of my favorite games, I will say that.
And there's things in the way.
Yeah, there's a big thing in the way, dude. You see that thing out there? Alright, so he's got a point. In order to get things moving, we're gonna have to get power up. I guess this health machine is broken, which is why he's all messed up.
I'm gonna have to
because this thing is not working. However, we can still recharge some shield. We're not gonna take all of it because we're gonna be coming back later, but we will take enough to like kind of top us off. And if we didn't have the Magnum from before, we now have it here, which we're gonna carry it with us because we're gonna want to use this later. While we're here, I will say that the box design, I don't know what it's based off in real life, but the color, which almost looks like CCI Blazer Bros, but the color of these boxes was the same in the original game. And it seems like they just maintained that. That's kind of cool.
The gun or nothing, but looks like you can handle this one yourself.
Yeah, dude, you're totally right. I'm just trying not to get burned out here. Let's see. Can I open anything from up here? I don't think so. I think we need to come back here with the power on. So we're on a quest to go turn on the power. In no future, it is not Metroid, and yet you are very close by saying Metroid. For what that's worth. Notice how when that thing walks around out there, I don't even know the official name for those guys, but you can actually feel its footsteps vibrating on the ground. Well, not really feel, since we don't have vibrating keyboards and mice. I mean, they exist, but I don't have one. This looks like not the way to go. But it's like you hear it. That's right, Westy. It is for Mega Man. When we take a break for coffee in an hour or an hour and a half or so, I will totally let you hear my Mega Man ringtones. What is not the game with that blue guy? It is the game with that blue guy. That is Mega Man. Alright, let's go through the bottom here. See if we can find a better way around, or if we just end up in the place where we would— oh, hello! I was gonna say, will we just end up in the place where we would have ended up if we had jumped those flaming pipes. Alright, now we don't need that kind of firepower for these guys, but we do have a lot of shot controls. Huh, and look at that, handy dandy health machine. Very lovely placement for us. You did guess good. That's that Aussie blood in you, mate. You mates in the down under, you know too much, eh? Hello. Why is stuff always falling? Everything look alright for you guys? Sound alright? Just making sure the quality's up for everyone. Wouldn't want to short you guys of the experience that you paid for. I don't know how much stuff I just blew up in there, but I hope it killed everyone and that more things don't teleport in. Holy crap, the environment was ready for that one. You know what? I bet that one was scripted. There's no way that these racks and stuff were like actually bent in real-time physics. There's no way. We can still hear this guy's footsteps, so I know we're not too far off from him. I just hope when we pop up, we don't pop up right where he is. Also, we're in the radioactive zones, aka danger zone. Hello. I don't know if the first shot killed him or what. I like how he's just in here chowing down on some Marines. And what's more useful is... wow, there are roaches everywhere. They did have roaches in this game, only they act weird. Notice that the roaches here are like floating in midair. They're just crawling around. But if you look at them against the wall, you can almost see them on the wall. I don't know what's going on here. We saw that same effect with shadows earlier. With the way the shadows behave, that they floated above something instead of crawling actually on the ground, right? It's interesting. You're also going to get a Yeti? Why the obsession with the Yeti, Westy? Is it just the plug-and-play aspect? Because what are those things costing now? Are they still like 190 or are they more like 90? Because I thought we had the conversation about audio devices before and like how a Yeti you really don't need. What if I told you I could set you up with a mic, interface, and headphone platform that would be well enough off for streaming? Only about a couple steps behind the Yeti, but for about $30 to $40 US. And then if you wanted to get like Yeti-ish quality, we could do it for in between 60 and 90 US. Good job, Fusion. Although, that's only half the reference. I still hate this. I mean, I guess it's authentic to the original game, but I still hate that when we come up against some loading zones, it takes time to load. I'm like, how big is the game, really? How much hardware do I have stuffed in here that I'm still having to wait on load zones? If Jack and Daxter can do it, Black Mesa can do it. Stop load zones today. Why didn't you want to go with the AT-203-35? Or rather, why did you want to go with that? Do you really need that expensive of a setup? How much talking do you plan on doing? How many times do you talk to yourself and just practice using a mic, Weston? Is a $400 mic really what you need? Is a $190 mic really what you need? Or is a $20 or $30 to $40 mic and headphone and interface setup what you need while you practice and get good at this stuff? From your book recommendation. Then when you're ready to upgrade, you pass that stuff on to the next guy. Do you know that the PS5 is going to have triggers from 1 to 5 pounds depending on what gun you're going to be using? That's going to be dope. It's a good idea, Future. The problem is, depending on that at the hardware level of the gun, especially the ones where they want to lock it when guns malfunction in certain games. There's going to be players that force themselves past that lock and they end up breaking their very expensive controllers. The other thing is, while the haptic feedback and pushback is cool, they have to have something durable to control it at the controller level. Because otherwise, how many people do you think playing games really know anything about trigger weight? Is that really going to be something that's helpful and game-changing, or is it going to be something that gets in people's way? That being said, I'm not saying, like, don't develop and don't do stuff like that. It's just like, yo, y'all gotta work on this, like, hellaciously in order to make it worth it. Just like motion controls. Motion control technology is amazing. The 6-axis, any gyro-based platform, they're all great. The way that we design for and program for them is not, and it doesn't show them off. So the same thing with those triggers. If they're gonna have it nice, they gotta put the work in. And they gotta make sure it's a good player experience that actually adds some value to the player's life when they're playing the game. Otherwise, you know, why bother with this thing? Yeah, for you it's gonna be cool, but you know what trigger weight is. You know that there's something to enjoy there, and you know that there's something to learn there as well. Your average player, I don't think is gonna benefit from it. And then, like I said, it sounds like a lot of different engineering work to do. And we don't really know if they're going to be able to do it reliably or not. Which I think is the biggest deal. Also, how many damn grenades have I picked up? That guy's talking about being hungry. Yeah, fall back, son. Oh! Don't worry, I'm going to cook something for you since you're hungry. Eat a cooked grenade! I don't think hardware technology is going to help you find realistic recoil feature. I feel like that's more just... Oh my goodness. Good thing I had some of these. Because I just used it on reflex, not knowing if I had any or not. Alright, looks like we're doing good so far. No, we're not. We are in terrible shape. What am I saying? Okay, let's... That was a water droplet. I thought I heard something coming from it. But yeah, that's the thing, Future. If more games and more developers were not so scared about using the 6-axis and gyro to aim, people would be both better and worse at aiming because they'd be on the gyro where they can pull their shots, like just barely at a moment's notice, but they'd also be on the gyro where they're shooting. They're like, they're aiming like very precisely if they can keep themselves calm. It is not an XLR setup for that price list there. But for the level of quality we're talking, again, I don't remember any of your YouTube videos where you talk. How much talking do you really plan on doing, and are you really going to use it? Try something small first, see if that's even really up your alley. It's not an XLR setup, and if you remind me after stream or DM me now, I will send you that stuff. Right now, I want to play my Black Mesas. I'm wondering if I blow that up, if I can get in there, but even if I could, and even if that were true, there's nothing in there for me to get, so we're good. What I don't like about this setup is going down an elevator where I know there's going to be big bad military means waiting for me. And we don't have any more of these rifle grenades for our submachine gun. If you put a rifle grenade launcher that is an underbarrel grenade launcher and you put it on a submachine gun and not something that actually propels a grenade from the muzzle, is it still a rifle grenade launcher? I guess the grenade launcher itself is rifled, but that's not why we call them rifle grenades. Oh right, there's no power, even though there's all these lights and stuff on. Not enough power to run the elevator. Enough power to run all these fancy lights. Also, I know there's gotta be people still alive over here. Or maybe not. Oh. Oh! What were you doing in there, dude? What kind of jump scare was that? Whoa. You know what? I'm not even gonna bother with my crowbar. You know what? I'm gonna bother with my crowbar because I don't have enough explosives to waste. Sometimes the shadows are making me think that there are definitely things in here. But it's just shadows. Also, I know I can hear a dog. Or whatever those eye dog things are called. I forget their official name. I hope it's everything you want, future. That's what I hope. Alright, we've come full circle. I think we should go back down there for more grenades. And then we'll proceed along the way that we were supposed to go. Also, max this out while we're here. Because why not? Also, there are no more grenades down here, but we did get the health, so that's useful. Oh, there's dog. And we could actually... I wonder if we could, like, sneak fall our way down there. I do see some dead peoples, but I know exactly where they are, and we're gonna end up down there anyways. Which is funny, because this air is pulling up, but I don't know if it's pulling up enough to affect us without the power being on. And if we jump down there, I wondered if we could, like, skip a segment or two. But I'm not gonna worry about that right now. We'll just keep proceeding the way that Gaben intended. Which is going down this way and then being stuck, knowing that you're gonna have to find another way up, since the stairs are definitely out. Stairs are out of order. Please take the elevator instead. Oh, whoa! Gosh darn it. Level design! Enemy placement. Holy crap. That was good. That was really good. I come down, I see a few enemies, I'm like, oh, I can deal with these guys. And suddenly, way more of them. That was good. That was good. Got my heart pumping. Good stuff. GG, Gaben. GG. Let's run through here and make sure there's no more of these guys hiding around. Interesting that the Marines are occupying the upstairs, but there's so many dogs around the downstairs. Perhaps they just gave up on fighting them. There's an area down there that you could fall into. Ah, this is the elevator I remember getting ambushed at. This is where we were gonna go down, but there's no power, so perhaps that's just the way we're going back up and not the air vent jumpy thing. Okay, so I think the only way to go down, or now, is down. Which we could have gone down an entirely different way earlier. And there's more down here, but I don't know how much of this down we need. Oh, no. I remember this. So, in the oh, whoa, what was that? Did he hit the thing with this claw and cause it to go off? That's no bueno. That shouldn't happen. Okay, so in the original game, I don't think you just go straight down these stairs. I think there's like a ledge or something, because I remember the ledge you walk out on as the zombie, the head crab zombie, behind it, like underneath it. So you can hear him, but you have to like actually expose yourself to him before you can see him. There's no way you can get a cheap shot on him like I just did. Second, I believe this is the part in the game where they start introducing these worms that swim in the water. But if I recall correctly, yeah, we should see him swimming towards us as soon as we get in the water, the way their AI is programmed. But from what I can tell, and from what I remember, I don't think there are worms in Black Mesa. I think that was only in the original game. So just by floating that over there, we're able to get the generator started, and we don't even have to walk in there. We just use the power of explosives to do it. Now we have to go do some other stuff to get the water energy on. Power on, sorry. But I think we're done down there. No, that says unit power off, so I guess we still have work to do. Unfortunately. Ah, here we go. Perfect. Oh, that's why. We did have power. It was just like half power. Unauthorized detonation detected in experimental propulsion lab. Yeah, we probably caused that just by turning on the power while they were doing some other stuff. It is interesting to think, like, when you're in the world of Black Mesa, we just turned on power in one location. How is that affecting other locations, you know? Also, I was totally wrong. You cannot jump on these and use fan power to get up like you did before. I have no idea what I was thinking. Maybe I was thinking of the earlier portion of the game where you totally do that. In any case, we should have elevator power now. But because we have elevator power, we might be dealing with some friendos. You know what I mean? Yep, because here comes the elevator. That's alright. We got something for him. I believe we have done what we needed to do. However, we may have to deal with more on the way up. So let's get our health. Or let's watch our health, I should say. That grenade did not go where it was supposed to go whatsoever. Also, hip hip hooray for non-automatic activating doors. Oh, bad day. Yeah, that arc, man. That's hard to do. That was definitely no Tarkov. What was I saying? Yeah, playing FPSs that don't have, like, oh, you're in the vicinity of this elevator, this is automatically gonna go up or down. Ah, hey. I never noticed this before. Actually, you know what? I probably never noticed it because it's not in the real game, or in the original game, but it's in this. So, as an ammo box that says 900 cartridges, this is way too big to be 900 cartridges, unless it's saying, like, oh, we have a bunch of ammo boxes in this crate, and they each hold 900 cartridges. The ammo boxes themselves would be... I thought I saw some earlier. Well, they'd be a little bit bigger than, like, lunchbox size. Then it says 5.56 millimeter? I don't remember if the actual, like, American military style of stamping actually says millimeter, or if it says 5.56 by 45 millimeter. I'm not sure. The rest of this, though, is kind of accurate, but not really. So this is, like, 4 ball, and it has, like, a circle saying, like, ball ammunition. M855, which was ball ammunition for the time that Half-Life came out. Oh! What's going on? Oh, they must still be up there, and he's, like, waiting for me to come fight. Yeah, I bet you are. You can detect me, but you can't do anything from up there, can you? Oh! Yeah, you can! Spoke too soon, it seems. Yeah, give me that MP5 ammo. So anyways, what this is telling us is that in a linked configuration meant for a machine gun, especially one that says linked for HK-23, which is a little confusing because I don't know what the HK-23 is, but it's not an American inventory machine gun. So that's kind of strange. The other strangeness is that this is saying in a link that there are 4 ball rounds, or just regular FMJ rounds, and then every 5th round is a tracer, so that as the machine gunner is firing, they can see rounds going down range every 5th round, and it's not everyone is a tracer, because tracers will put a hurting on your barrel, and tracers are a fire hazard. Like, once they hit things, not to the shooter, but still. They leave behind a lot more residue, and it's a lot more cleaning, so instead of having all tracers, you put in a tracer every 5 rounds, every 2 rounds, every 7 rounds, whatever is the doctrine for where you're from. And that's how you can see where you're shooting. However, because it says 4 ball, M855, and then 1 tracer, M855, this is wrong, because the tracer would be a different round. M855 determines the projectile and the cartridge type. The projectile for the M855 is the SS-109, which is a 62 grain full metal jacket round with a slight tapered boat tail and a mild steel penetrating tip up front. Not as good as the penetrating tip we use now, but it used to be a thing to go. So this should say M855 and then M856 for the tracer. And then the lot numbers are just like when you buy anything else, food, wires, metal. It tells you like, hey, this came from a certain lot of the product. So if there are problems with this particular ammo, then maybe we should check everything else that is in this lot. And maybe that lot might be recalled. If you go to any major ammunition manufacturer, you will find a list of recalled lots per product that may have happened. And that's how you ensure quality control, and that's how we went from having ammo that maybe fails 30% of the time back in, like, I don't know, the 1920s, to having ammo that maybe it fails 1 or 2% of the time with a good working weapon in modern day. You know what I'm saying? Lena, how are you doing? How are the kids? Lena, I'm gonna build a very, very cheap and simple APU gaming PC for my siblings. Oh, here we go. This is an actual ammo box. Now, this is interesting. You're telling me that that entire crate, the crate that was down there, had 900 rounds of 5.56, but in this little metal box, we somehow have 1,500 rounds of 50 cal. Nah. So what this actually looks like, given this width, this could be a tall boy 50 cal ammo can that you would strap to the side, not strap, but you would lay it on the side of the feed tray for your 50 cal machine guns attached to your trucks, or in place conditions you would just put them on the ground. Or hopefully they have the tray you can put them in, that way you can actually traverse and elevate. So this doesn't make sense at all, because 1,500 50 cal rounds would be much bigger than this. This would be more like this box size. Half of this holds around 250-ish, I believe, maybe 100. And so this would be more like 200 to 500. I can't even remember. What this looks actually more like is a 30 cal box. This says 50 cal, but if it said something like 7.62 by 51 millimeter, I would believe it a lot more. Not only would the size fit with the 1,500 rounds for this, and if you look, no, they don't have it modeled in. So like on ammo boxes like this, there's a little plate on the side. That's how you lock it into the whatever it's feeding from. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. Because notice on the side over here it says 1,500 cartridges, 12.5 millimeter, A185. A185 being the type of round of 50 cal that's using. However, what this says over here says use an MG2, the GAU2 Bravo, or the GAU2 Alpha, or the M134. These are designation for miniguns. And the miniguns, well, there are 5.56 miniguns, but our miniguns fire 7.62 by 51. And even though this says A185 on this, you'll notice on this side it says 1 round ball M62, which is like an AP round penetrator for the .308 caliber, and then 4 rounds ball M80, which still penetrates pretty well, but it's basically just a basic ball round. This is less about penetrating armor like on bodies, and more about penetrating armor like thinner walls and tanks, but usually more like trucks and armored carriers and stuff like that. What's going on? Terrifying Man Fork. That's an amazing name. I'm glad you like the title. The title of the last stream was Mom saying, "We have Half-Life at home." Only someone flipped it on me and they were like, "We have Black Mesa at home." Black Mesa at home. It's just regular Half-Life. I wouldn't be fooled, Future. I think this is a fake ammo can full of fake ammo. But pretty much, in order to clean this up, this has some mixed stuff on it. The 5.56 one would have been easier to fix, of course. The easy fix for this would be to change that 12.5 millimeter to 7.62 millimeter. Put the same stamp there instead of 50 cal. You can leave the amount of rounds. No one's going to know whether that's right or not. I don't know. It looks about right for how big this is. You can keep the weight, 122 average weight. That doesn't really make sense, but it'll work. Unless that means the weight of the entire box, in which case, hey, I buy it. I don't care. And then you don't even have to change these designations, because these designations for ammunition fit that caliber perfectly. Well, not this caliber, but if they had the right caliber on there. So it's curious to me, because I'm wondering if they modeled this stuff out of real life, how do you get details like this wrong? It's not saying like, oh, hey, you game developer, you don't know about guns and you don't know about all this crap and whatever. And I'm like, That's one way to look at it. But that's not even what I'm concerned with. What I'm concerned with is like, no, all you had to do was read this off of a JPEG you could pull up on Google Images. So how can this be wrong? Why are there not tracer rounds in the tracer segment when you can clearly read this? What is the HK-23 that people are using as a machine gun? Are these 50 cal rounds or 7.62 rounds? Like, you have to deliberately go out of your way to get this wrong when these are available to you in images. You can just copy the images and you can be right, and you don't even know that you're right. So this is confusing to me. I really don't know why it's like that. It does make me wonder if Black Mesa was another, like, foreign team project. I've also heard car enthusiasts say some cars in a garage were made after the time the game takes place and should not exist. Yeah. Anachronisms? Anachronisms are legit. Like, in movies and games and stuff. The thing is, though, some anachronisms are so cool, it's like, whatever. Especially in, like, some car movies and stuff like that. But some of them are, like... The way I see it is, like, is the game trying to say... Is the game or the movie or the book, is it trying to say, oh, we are ultra-realistic and we are good at what we do and we made a good thing? Because if they're not, then I don't give them much flack for it. Because, like, if a game is like, oh, we try to make a good crafting system, and we try to tell a good story, and we try to have stealth elements, and we try to, oh, hello, and we try to make characters that the players would care about, it's like, those are their objectives, and everything else falls to the wayside. And the game I was just describing from my own memory was The Last of Us 1. If your goal is not to get that stuff right, or just get it right enough so you can focus on the stuff that's really important to you as a developer, who am I as a player to say, like, oh, you did wrong? It's like, you got details wrong, but you were doing something else. It's like, you're not really bad. You were just focused elsewhere, and this wasn't important to you. And was it really a big impact on your game if Joel carries a pistol in his back pocket where it's really unsafe and awkward to reach in real life like that? No, not at all. So, focus on what you do instead of making a game that's like, oh, it's super ultra realistic, but I don't want to play it because it's a sucky game. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about it. The revolver sights are off center? Really? How can you tell when they're unable to be looked at straight on like this? Butt cheeks like steel holding the gun safely in place. Excuse me? Why does that sound familiar, Wobble? Also, Wobble, what's going on with you? Oh, butt cheeks, because it's in his back pocket. Right. That's how it doesn't slip out. He's constantly, like, poking the butt out to create tension against the jeans. Never comes out like that. Mouse 2 should be aiming with the sights. Not in Half-Life. Wait. What? Mouse 2? What do you count as Mouse 2? Also, is there aiming in Black Mesa? Because if there is, I played through the entirety of the time of Black Mesa back before it was finished, and I didn't know there was aiming. But I don't think Black Mesa usually, or Half-Life games don't normally have aim like that, my dude. Black Mesa is aiming with the revolver, secondary attack. Oh! Just because it's the revolver, I see. Ah, that is off. That being said, that doesn't bug me that much. In fact, what I'll do is, you guys won't be able to see this, but I'll turn on the crosshair on my monitor, and that'll help me see more about this. So this doesn't bother me as much, but yeah, if I'm looking at the crosshair on here, I'll take a picture and post on Twitter later, just because of you, Terrifying Manfork. I hope you have a Twitter. Wobble, Ed's here, how are you guys doing? Happy birthday, good to see you. I hope you guys are well. So I'll take a picture and post this on Twitter so everyone can see it. But it is definitely off. It's nothing I would notice. No, I would definitely notice it. I don't think it's probably going to affect gameplay. But let's find a brighter surface we can aim at. So yeah, the center of my crosshair is sitting more to the left of the front sight. And neither the rear sight nor the front sight are lined up with the horizontal of the crosshair, which is representing the center of the screen. And the front sight and the rear sight are not at the same height anyways, meaning who knows where them shots are going. That being said, and I'm not saying Gordon Freeman figured this out, though he is a smart person. I'll post it in the chat, man, Fork. You'll be able to see it as a link. You don't have to actually log on to Twitter. You'll just be able to look at it. It's all good. Also, Fork, what's your favorite Half-Life game? So, alright, I have a theory. It's a totally BS theory. But there is a very small chance that Gordon Freeman, who is a very, very well-educated engineer, and at this point has killed a lot of people, has figured out that at the engagement distances that he's getting in this horrible Black Mesa incident right now are very close. Therefore, instead of aiming his sights properly, he's actually aiming his front sight down just a little bit so that he's not aiming too far up when he goes for precise shots to the ears, to the top T box, and to the center A box. So he's trying to be dead on at about 7 to 10 yards. It is possible. It's very unlikely. And as for him holding it off center, like horizontally, I don't really know. And I'm just gonna call this For the Fork. Would one of you guys be a real bro? Go to my Twitter. Go to the last thing you see me posted, which has the picture of the crosshair and the sight. I'm gonna turn my crosshair off now. And will you post the link back here in this chat? First one to do it is the ultimate bro of the day. And what did Etir say when he came in? They probably made changes to make it not real so they weren't copying or something, show it was a different reality kind of thing. I mean, maybe, but those aren't these aren't changes that are... I mean, unless they just mixed some stuff around because they thought they were changing something that they needed to. One, these aren't copyrightable things. These are like public domain markers for safety and for shipping information and for troop info, right? And two, again, this isn't like something you look up. Like, okay, let's say I work in a studio, I don't speak English. We look up the right words for no smoking signs because we're trying to express that, and then we write smoking no. That's the kind of mistake I see that happening when you just don't know what's going on. These ammo labels, though, all you had to do was copy and paste them. There's literally nothing else. Also, it appears that Wobble is the true bro of the day, though Etir did go the extra mile and use the actual photo. The actual photo link. So, I'll say it's a tie and that you both get to be bro for the day. Half-Life Opposing Force, but as of now it's Alex. I have not played Alex. Please don't tell me anything about it. But I agree with you, Adrian Shepard, until the world ends. Wasn't there another guy who was fighting over here? Or he's the one that flanked me, like, way out here. You attempted to do it on your phone, but you were too slow? That's okay, Westy. We PC gang out here. Westy, you're a PC gamer? You own a PC? You trying to build a new PC? You got an old PC? Where's your PC at? Why you watching Twitch on mobile? What, you on a toilet or something? Come on. I think Etir linked the wrong one, unless you want to pick up your dog. Oh no! But that means Etir actually followed the instructions. He went for the first tweet, even though that wasn't the right first tweet. The pinned tweet doesn't count, Etir. I need you to catch up with the times, my dude. Anyone else notice that this design, where you go down in this center to get health like this, is the same as the design we encountered earlier during the last stream? You're watching me on the PC, but you're on Twitter on your phone. Ah, you made the mistake, Westy. You had the power of ASCII and QWERTY at your fingertips, and you chose to ignore it. How do you plead, Westy? How do you plead? I also have no idea what this staircase is down here for, but I guess it's like some sort of level design. I don't know if it's good level design or bad level design. It's there. It's present level design. Alright, surely we won't be fighting anything in the goop, right? So I shouldn't be too worried about this. The power's on, but that doesn't really mean too much for us. We still have to run around and do a few other things. And thanks for following, for Gordon Freeman, aka Morgan Freeman's bro. Ah, load screens in 2020. Was that guy shooting at his bro, or was he trying to shoot at me and his AI was messing him up? In any case, how did these guys make it past the big guy? Also, if they made it through here, they might have killed our buddy in the security booth. We'll have to go check. Is it really a security booth? I think it's more of just a control center, because it's more about the power than security in this area. If I recall correctly. What you laughing at, sir? I'm so glad he didn't click to see what I actually linked. Oh my gosh. Fine. Now we gotta fucking look. See, I assumed it was gonna be Wobble that linked something that was not appropriate and weird. Like something of me in 2016 tweeting about one of the Twitch girls I wanted to date. Because I didn't realize how weird that was. I was saying that. I never said that, by the way. I'm just making up examples. And yeah, it's here just has a picture of my dog. Why are you trying to talk like it's something like risque then? You confusing me. Why you do that? Why you do that, Etter? Trying to be provocative? You're 10 years past your provocative game. Go sleep with your wife if you want to be attractive. Hello. Is this our first Marine headcrab zombie? Oh, maybe this is where they were fighting, and maybe one of them got turned and the rest of them ran out of here where they were hiding. Which is how they got past all this stuff, because they were never in with it. And that's why we didn't see them earlier. Perhaps. Also, all these MP5s and no more rifle grenades, unfortunately. Oh well. How is Iggy? Iggy is doing well. He is super spoiled. He is surrounded by people that love him. He has so many beds to lay on within this house that he never knows which one he wants to lay on. And so he just rotates through them throughout the day. I'm contractually obligated to cause a certain amount of chaos. You'd have to fire me from chat. Oh my gosh. Fine, I accept for now. I'm hoping that these guys didn't find this guy and finish him off.
I'm never gonna make it.
Whoa, what you doing, buddy?
You better go on without me.
No. We got this together, dude. Don't give up.
I'll just slow you down.
No. Don't give up. We can do this together. What's he doing? Now, see, if I wanted to not roleplay, this would be a good opportunity for me to run away. Do what I need to do. But I'm gonna open the door now. Come on, buddy. Security buddy, let's go. I'll carry you if I have to. I got 2 arms. Alright, the power's on. I think I turned that electricity on. I get more suit power now that I'm big here. It always bothered me that they made it so you can shoot 2 shell from your shotgun even in this game. You mean in Black Mesa? Even though like they had a chance to fix it from the original game? I think my theory on that is that they already did it in the first game, right? Whether they knew better or not in the first game, I don't know. I'd have to look up hella interviews. Maybe I can get somebody from Valve drunk one day when I'm super famous and they'll tell me, right? Because it's so weird that's like both barrels. Now, if the example of the MP5 to MP7 grenade launcher thing is any indication, by the time they got to Half-Life 2, they had to have known, okay, rifle grenades spiral out and they shoot really fast, but what they wanted was the little tumbling grenade, Quake style. And because of that, they kept it into the second game, which means if they didn't know in the first game when making it, they definitely knew before the second game, but they were more committed to keeping it the way it was for the sake of, hey, this is how we like it, this is how our players like it, this is how they know it. We're going to stick to familiarity. I think that is the same thing that happens from Half-Life 1 to Half-Life 2, and the same reason why Black Mesa would rather keep it too. So like, okay, this is the same as the original game, which honestly, even though I too would have liked to have seen that change, for the sake of kind of realism, what I'd say is that, how would I say it? I'd say that I think most Half-Life fans, the majority, like dudes who were 12 to 28 when the first Half-Life came out, and they had seen more pixels on a screen than they had hairs on a woman's back. I think those guys, to them, it's like, ugh, they changed it. I don't like it anymore. And therefore, I'm like, okay, I get it. Keep it as faithful to the original as you can. I get it. Yeah, what Etter said. That being said, I have 2 ways that I would have loved to see the spouse change for the alt-fire. One is that the alt-fire switches between semi-automatic and pump action. And for pump action, you would get more recoil control. For semi-automatic, you would get... No, the recoil would have to be less than semi-automatic. So yeah, let's say in semi-automatic you can fire faster, you get less recoil, but Gordon can't really handle the semi-automatic mode, so it spreads around a lot. I don't know. I don't really know how to fix that. There's really no way to fix it in games because games don't have that advantage. That's why there's not a lot of convertible shotguns in games, if any. If anybody knows of a game that has convertible shotguns, let me know. I don't think I can ever think of one. Excluding some janky Half-Life 1. I've only ever played the original Half-Life on Dreamcast. Really? How was that? Dreamcast Half-Life was leaked or something. There's a working ISO so you could download and burn. I need to do that, and I also need to do the one from the PS2. So anyways, I would have this switch, and maybe there would be no advantage or disadvantage game-wise, but at least it would switch. The other way I would do it is I would just act as if this is in semi-auto all the time. Primary trigger fires one shot. Left trigger is a rapid press of the trigger twice, like a little 2-round burst. Instead of, not 2-round burst mechanical, but 2-round burst employed by Gordon in order to fire off 2 quick shells instead of saying from both barrels. And all they would have to do to convince me of that, they don't even have to actually implement the animation. All they have to do is say fire 2 shots instead of fire 2 barrels on the tooltips. And I would be convinced. You wouldn't even have to actually do anything hard to convince me. I think it also had blue shift or something on the disc. That makes sense because I believe at the time, especially with the whole like native Windows thing and some of the drivers that the Dreamcast was hosting, I believe that what they wanted to do was show off the HD textures. So the HD textures pack that came on PC with blue shift probably just came with it on the Dreamcast. Ah, I wish I had it for my Dreamcast back then. I wouldn't have had to wait so long to play it on PC at 4 frames a second back in the day. Alright. Oh, he saw us. We might just have to take a burn. I thought the security guy was going to take a hit for me and let me run past. He seems not to be in the self-sacrificial mood today, so it is what it is. That's why you need more Halo in your life, Wobble. And before Wobble says, oh no! And before Wobble says something that he complains about with Halo. Or any other game, really. Can you reload the MP5? I want to see how he does it. He pulls it out pretty realistically, thumb on the back paddle, and then he puts the same magazine in without actually grabbing a new one. It's really just to trick the player into thinking he's reloading. He's like, yeah, sure, whatever. It's all unlimited anyways. Okay, run, 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 run. Oh shit, wrong way. We're getting burned up. Oh my gosh, it took a lot of hit there. But we're moving. We're moving. We're moving. Holy shit. Oh no. Okay, I'm up. Oh shit, can he see up here? He can, but I don't think he can do anything about it. Hit the button. Uh-oh. Oh no. Things are not on. I don't think I finished doing whatever I was supposed to do. Oh, I bet there's the things to plug in. I forgot. Maybe he'll leave after a while and I can go plug those things in. Maybe I'll hit up my... Oh, they're just down here. Okay, we'll make it. We might get burned while we're down there, so we might as well load up on health and shield. This is where, again, they changed up a few puzzles and a few situations in order to dump in, like, Half-Life Source Engine physics puzzles. So you get... Woo! So instead of just hitting a few buttons, you get this whole thing about plugging in some outlets, which is what you did for a tutorial in Half-Life 2, if I recall correctly, when you were in the Kleiner's office for the first time. Alright, we're powered out, let's do it! And then you hit this, and it automatically kills him. I will say this is more graceful than in the original game. Like, the way he actually chases you back here and fights you, the way this guitar goes off, how his body gets split into pieces everywhere after he gets electrified, the light that's left over after that. It's pretty cool. That being said, it doesn't have the same gravitas to me as in the first game, because in that one you can see more of your surroundings and it's more of a timing game of getting them back there. Kind of like, no, not really like Quake 1 actually. It just had the lightning like Quake 1. He doesn't slap the knob. He doesn't slap the knob feature because I only fired 1 round, and he doesn't need to. To slap the charging handle, you're only doing that if you have to open up the chamber. Now, will he do that if we fire off the whole magazine? Probably not, but let's check it. Yeah, he does. So if you fire out a full magazine, Gordon Freeman actually does run the bolt. He locks the bolt back, he pulls out the empty, he puts in a new one, he puts the charging handle forward. He doesn't slap it, but again, as I keep telling y'all, the HK slap is movie shit. I know a lot of people like that are gun experts are like, yeah, HK says to do it like that. I'm like, yeah, people say a lot of things. Glock says that this big giant thing that's underneath your thumb on the grip is a thumb rest, even though there's no way your thumb can touch that and you have a good grip, right? So the thing is, real shooters know on the MP5, if you're going back to get your grip, you literally just put your thumb up there and you just flick the charging handle down and it'll take care of itself. No need for slapping. Okay, let's check out the chunks on this boy. Wow, you can see through them. That's dope. They actually did like a physical render of a carapace here. I don't think that happens for all enemies. This is pretty cool. You can see straight through it. That being said, if you want to feel cool and you want to slap the charging handle on your MP5 or G3, whatever it is, H&K that you're shooting, feel free to do so. Just don't tell me like it has something to do with the manufacturing tolerances or that it actually makes you more efficient. As long as you don't do that, we cool. Started learning some coding today? What language did you look into, Weston? You on that code academy, son? Anything I like about playing together, we have a land party. That was fun. Yeah, Wobble, remember when things were fun? You could just enjoy things? And then I met you, and it was like, nope. That stage of your life is over. Something just warped in. I heard it. Maybe I didn't actually hear it. I just think I did. In any case, we got 2 trams here. This is weird. Oh, maybe they're giving you a... maybe this was for the co-op. No, I have no idea. I really don't. I do like that there's extra stuff back here. Especially since it's very likely that if I were playing this for the first time again, I would have run back here first to try to get to safety, picked up that equipment, and then completely squandered it. So, for whatever reason, we have 2 trams to choose from. And we just need to get one on the track, so it's okay. It makes you look more cool, I suppose. Future, I suppose. This guy's still talking about, oh, I'll just let you down. Oh, he switched the track for me, so I don't have to. I don't even remember this from before. Hold on, let's go talk to him real quick. C#, because what Unity uses, and gonna make a small game or something with Unity. That's a good word. Are you following the Unity tutorials? I don't like them because they do a lot of the coding for you and they just expect you to modify them, but they do get you used to like working with quaternions. Quaternions? I don't even remember what that's called. They're like 3D floating point for the Z-axis and stuff like that. The tutorials are good for getting you started. Then you learn to code on your own. And make games, Westy. Make games. So, if I recall in the original game, this guy died like as soon as you came in here. Or maybe you got burned up, and then when you come in here, there are like a few knobs that you actually have to turn in order to get this on the right track. It seems like they wanted to streamline this part of the game. Maybe because a lot of players complain about this part where they had to move the knobs and get this perfect, and if they didn't have the tram in the right place, they had to go back down, move the tram, come back here, move knobs, get it perfect, so on and so forth, that was lined up. That may have been an issue. And because of that, they may have opted to do this, where it's like, we keep the guy alive, he doesn't die to the mini boss dude, and then he turns the table for you. That might be what happened. That's my guess. Do you guys have any guesses or any insider knowledge? Don't know anything about the 10mm MP5 being trash. There are versions of the 10mm MP5 that work really well. It's just by the time they got it working really well, the FBI and the major players for those contracts back in the day had figured out, like, oh, you know what? We don't actually want 10mm. And we don't want the MP5 because we have all these 5.56 rifles that run pretty well and can be very short. So Early versions of the 40 cal and the 10mm MP5s were pretty bad because that's a lot of pressure to put through a weapon that was designed for 9mm initially, right? Oh!
Hey, it's Freeman, right?
Shit!
Hold on
Dude,
a
I'm just
second.
trying to... Hold on!
His pal said to give you a message.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm just trying to...
Supposed to
Stupid
take the
tram!
rail system up to some
Okay.
sort of satellite
Fuck.
delivery rocket or something.
Satellite delivery rocket.
I
Got it.
don't know where it is exactly. The old guy was so worried about getting out alive, he didn't think to stop and tell me. Anyway, the main thing is, the military aborted
Wow,
the
well, happy
launch.
birthday.
So when you find the rocket, well, if you find the rocket, you'll have to get up to the control room and launch it yourself. He said something about a Lambda team needing
Sure, I
a
won't
satellite
find a
in orbit
dying
if they're
guard to
ever
do
gonna
it for
clean
me.
up this mess. Now, get going. I'm gonna stick around and help any other stragglers.
Well, you can't be saying that in the chat history and then also saying something about me sending you nudes on Snapchat. I know you're joking in both instances, but those two statements are enough to put me in jail for life. Life, Wall, for life. Okay, so I will say it up front.
Would you be quiet?
I do not like this game's tramp system controls at all compared to the ones in the first game. And all it is the visual indicator that lets me know that, hey, you're still controlling this, or hey, you're not controlling this anymore. But yeah, Future, it's just like, for a while, 40 caliber Glocks and 45 caliber Glocks, they didn't always work great because the weapon was designed from the ground up as a 9mm gun, and then was adapted to other calibers later. So it had some teething issues when it came to making versions for other guns, or for other calibers. Same thing with the MP5. You start out with a 9mm focus version, and then you say, hey, I'm going to adapt this to some other calibers. These calibers have a lot more power behind them, a lot more pressure generation. So yeah, you're going to run into some problems. Even if you do it the other way around, you're always going to run into some kind of issue when you convert something that was purpose-built around one task and say, hey, you're going to do this now. It's like, it's going to happen. It's like if I had a job at the shoe factory tying laces, and they put me on, you know, putting on the little tape on laces. It might take me a little bit to adapt, but I've worked in the shoe shop, so I know what's going on. Alright, so here's this part, which I am not looking forward to, because I'm pretty sure this is all just a shootout with the Marines. Yeah, they got the music to go with it, too. Oh, lovely. Wait, maybe this isn't that part. This is the part of the game that gets pretty wild as far as the shootouts go. Like, to the point where I got sick of Half-Life shooting. That is... Those are not Marines, but I do hear something. And now we're on chapter on a rail. Ah. That's what I hear. This poor head crab leaning his head against the wall. He's banging his head against the wall. I wonder if the dude in there is still alive and he's trying to off himself. It is so dark. Alright, so we still got cool music and no enemies around. Let's see if we can adjust that brightness again, because I'm looking at this thing and I'm just like, I can't see anything. I don't want to bring the brightness up that much more again. Well, we bring up brightness a little bit and we drop dynamic shadow quality, just a hair. We'll leave water reflections where they're at because they're not hurting our system. And on that note, let me put cam up so I can actually see what's going on with that kind of stuff. Again, you guys tell me if there's any drops, pixelation, screen tearing, what have you, at least. Also, you guys are gamers. Question of the day: what is the brokest meal you have ever had? For myself, oh my gosh, the music, I can never, it's like not balanced at all. I guess, honestly, this is kind of the stuff you get from indie games, and it's hard sometimes when you look at projects like this to think, oh right, this was not a huge team that did this. A few meals made when there was nothing in the fridge, right? I mean, obviously there's a bunch of sauce and other things that you can make. I think the brokest meal I ever had is I took half of a small to-go carton of rice, steamed rice that had been in the fridge for like a year, at the back, and then I put on a slice of Kraft cheese on top of that rice that had also been in the fridge for about a year or two. And then I put them in a bowl and I just microwaved them and I let the oily plastic cheese melt over the rice, and then I just ate that with a spoon with a little bit of salt. That's probably the brokest meal I can think of, where it wasn't like, okay, I'm having a broke meal because I'm in another country and we don't have access to things that we like. The hell? Those are just rocks, right? I thought those were head crabs just like falling down for a moment. I once took the last pita loaf, gave it a small layer of ketchup, microwave some cheese on it. The poor pizza. Indeed. That doesn't sound bad though. Especially since you use the pita. Fritos and ice cream, honestly not bad. Together? Or like, what are you saying, Future? Also, I'm pretty sure I heard a Vortigaunt just now. Don't know where that barrel came from, by the way. No clue. Oh, what happened? And see, this is where the physics system of the source engine does us dirty sometimes. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Full stop. Oh, see, like that. If I'm not facing it, I shouldn't be controlling it anymore. That gets annoying, like, really quickly. Now we're gonna test something for the first game. If I stand on the rail, do I get electrocuted? No. In the first game, you would just get an electrocution symbol, even though you really didn't know why. You would kind of have to figure it out. Is this, like, ridiculously dark to anyone else? Or can you guys see it alright, and I just need to adjust my, like, screen brightness? I'm going to adjust this at the screen, because we've already turned this up, like, way too much. No, this isn't helping at all. It's just dark. I'm just gonna open up my monitor and put a flashlight back behind it. Gotta make it right. Yeah, I don't know what's up. Well, I guess we're trolling around in the dark then. Trying not to get killed. There was no one here. I thought there would be someone or something down there. My bad, Joe. Alright, let's keep gonna move on. It wasn't actually just tangy. I see. Crush up the Fritos and put it on top of the ice cream. It gives it a pretty cool taste. Just eat it semi-fast and then the Fritos get soggy. Future, what possessed you to make that? The only tutorial you did was a drag and drop one? I see. Well, the drag and drop teaches you how to use Unity as the engine. When it comes to the coding, you'll learn the coding in the background too. It's okay. Just remember that if you're using Unity tutorials, you're learning to use Unity. If you're using C# tutorials, you're learning to write in C#. Hello. Whoa, what is that? Is that half a head crab up there? Y'all saw that, right? I'm fairly certain that is half of a head crab zombie. Why is he missing his shirt? Or does he just have that white robe on? In any case, even though he can crawl backwards, he can't crawl down here like that. So, I'm not worried about him for now. Woo! Yeah, how you like that Time Crisis style mobile cover? Reload! Reload! Shoot outside the screen! Well, not in Time Crisis, you couldn't shoot outside the screen like that. Are you okay? Is who okay? Talking about Future? So instead of eating ramen noodles, you put the Fritos on the ice cream in Future. I gotta say, that's pretty incredible. Ugh, door is locked. No server access for us, fortunately. Alright, You know what? Before we go on, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take a quick break for coffee. You guys listen to music. I'm also gonna see if the main Optiplex showed up, because if it did, we can take the last bit of the stream to actually show it off a little bit before we put it away until other parts get here and work on it some more. So I'll be right back. You guys let me know if you need anything, and I'll try to bring it down for you. And Etir, you still owe me a story about your Brocus meal. And then even though I like this camera angle, I mean, do you guys mind that when I talk to you, I'm not looking directly at you? Because as long as I don't have to look directly up, except for when I'm doing, like, you know, people coming in and hosting like 30 people or something, I think this will work alright. If not, I'll put the camera back down here and then move from there. Yo, your recipes are not recipes, they're desperate cries for help, future. I can't follow those unless I want to die a cold and lonely death. So I'll be right back. You guys take care of yourselves. Don't eat each other as a Brocus meal. Cannibalism is not a woke meal.